What's up, Kansas City? You're here with Tennille Benton on The Real with Tennille show. Special thanks to whatsupkansascity.net for allowing us to do this interview with our special guest, Barbara Courtney, with children of incarcerated parents. Mrs. Courtney, tell us a little bit about the program of children of incarcerated parents.
Children of Incarcerated Parents, we was incorporated March the 6th, 2013. Our mission is mending the broken heart and healing the souls of our children. Our project is, my goal is to help our children that's from 5 to 18 to stay connected to their family, because it's very important. We know that most of our children are impacted because of a parent has been in prison or is in prison. It's over like 1.7 million children that has a parent in jail or in prison. And there are estimated 10 million children that has a parent either on parole or under some type of supervision. And so it's very important that we try to connect our children in that has a parent.
How do we connect our children? Is it through Skyping, the internet? What type of programs or initiatives or ways can we connect the children with their parents who are in prison? And also, is it worth it? If I'm a child, is it the same for me Skyping with my parent in prison versus actually having my parent in the home?
Well, if a parent's not in home, yes, it's worth having Skype video conference, because it's very important, because you're going to keep the child connected. And that's what one of our program is about, video conference. We are sitting with Missouri Department of Correction as I speak, because one of the things is the children who have caregivers, it's hard for them to travel because of geographic area. Also because of finance. And if these children don't stay connected with their families, they either don't do good in school, they're not doing good in the community,
or they're destined to fail and go to prison like the parents.
They stop thriving. They are traumatized. And I was looking at this study, and they have now named children with with trauma,
PTSD,
as the hood disease for the African American children. Okay. And so we always come up with these names when a child come into the hospital. That's when the doctors say hood disease.
Now, do you feel that the system was created for the black community to fail? And be honest.
I think yes, in some ways, because it takes the men out of the home and separate the family, the mother as well. One of the things that I have learned, I had to look at my own personal spirit. That's why I'm so passionate about it. I lost my mother when I was 9 years old, and I was traumatized by it. But I didn't know that was going to be a trickle effect, by my traumatized. I went into the streets, and I ended up going to prison, and I traumatized my own kids. So it was like a generation curse.
So what did you go to prison for, if I may ask?
I went to prison for shoplifting.
Okay.
And a controlled substance.
And how long were you away from your kids?
2 years. But keep in mind, I went to prison twice. I had a baby while I was in prison, and she was taken from me and was adopted out. So all this
Did you
trauma,
ever get to reconnect with her?
Yes, I have reconnected with her. And that's why this is a passion for me, because I've seen it for myself. And I've seen how it impacted my children. And out of my 5 children, 3 of them went to prison as well. And I remember one of my relatives saying, when I started this program, and asking her, what happened when your mother went to prison? She said, my mother went to prison. You was there, but Uncle was there, but I still wanted my mother. And that, the little girl in me leaped, because I remember my sister raised 10 of us. Wow. And she was 19. But no matter how she raised us, I still wanted my mother. And that's why I try to, this program is very, very important, because no matter who's the caregiver is, a child still wants their parents.
And I have a question, because in working with the school district and some other places, it doesn't matter to a kid if their child is a murderer, a crackhead, if they beat them every day, they still want that parent. They are still looking for affection and love. They are still looking for validation from the parent. Why do our children constantly look for validation in parents, even though sometimes the parent is not in a position to validate?
You got to remember, with the womb, when they came out that womb,
there was that connection.
There was that connection. And it's hard to detach yourself from that womb. And so no matter what my mother and my father did, I still have that connection from that womb.
Now, were your parents incarcerated?
No, I have never seen any type of incarceration.
So what made you do something different than how you were raised? A lot of times people repeat the behavior. So if your parents weren't incarcerated or were showing you something different, where was the disconnect that you chose to do something different and ended up in prison?
The disconnect was when my mother got sick. That her sickness, not by her knowing and about nada, but it was a trickle effect. It just became a dysfunctional.
So did you feel that because she was sick, she wasn't there, or
she wasn't there, and she wasn't providing?
So then did you hold that against her?
No, I didn't hold that against her. I was a kid, and that for me, that was my mother, and I love the ground my mother walked on, because it's nothing like a mother's love. And even though my father was there and everything else, it caused him to start drinking. And so my sister kept us together. She kept a promise to my mother that she would keep us together. And even though she kept us together, the thing is, I still wanted my mother, because I felt like my sister couldn't love me like my mother. And so I took to the streets. And sometimes you take to the street because you're looking for something. You don't know what you're looking for, but you're looking for something. So I was looking for something that was missing in my life. And
so what is the void that children of incarcerated parents is feeling for the children whose parents are incarcerated?
It's important that you meet that unmet need. The unmet need is when I'm not connecting with my parents because they're not there. And so that's why one of the things we do in individual and group counseling, peer-to-peer, because there's somebody that will understand. But also, the video conference is very, very important. It's not like seeing them in person, but when I'm not able to see them in person, and I'm able to see them on the video and say, hey, I love you. How you doing in school? And we able to connect because I'm seeing them. That's going to make me feel better when I go to bed at night. See, I didn't have all that, and nor my kids had all that. My sister did the best that she could and everything else, but she wasn't able to bring them to see me all the time. And so they lacked that love. They lacked that abandonment. Because, see, most of the kids feel abandonment.
Did your kids feel abandoned during those 2 years?
They felt abandoned.
How old were your kids when you went both times?
2 and 3 years old. And I never forget when I first came out of prison, my son didn't realize he was traumatized. Okay. And when I first came home, he was trying to feel, who is this lady? And then the more he stared at me, he began to recognize, this is my mother. And he grabbed hold of me. But one of the things is that every time I got ready to go, he would scream and holler. And people listened to other people's ears. They were saying, hey, he's going to manipulate you. You need to go and go. But he was traumatized. He didn't think, what he was thinking is, if you're going to walk out that door again, I'll never see you again.
So if I scream and holler, maybe you'll stay and you won't go.
Yes. And so that, to me, stayed with me. Because I was affected by it. I seen my children. We were so dysfunctional. They was angry with me. They felt betrayed. They felt ashamed. You know, they had to listen to people say negative
I have a
things
question.
and-
That's what I was going to go into. A lot of times when kids have parents who are incarcerated, other kids or family members are so harsh. They talk so bad about the parent and the situation, which to me is doubly hard on the child because you already don't have the parent, and then you're listening to everybody else talk bad about your parent, which you internalize as there's something wrong with you. Because my Auntie Jeannie, she's with her kids, or Aunt Samantha's with her kids, but here I am being raised by Grandma or Jeannie and Samantha.
And that's why I'm saying this organization was created out of the passion in my heart, because how it trickle effect my children and my children's children. And
Are your
so
three children, and I'm so sorry to interrupt, are your three children who went to prison, are they out now?
Yes, everybody's out.
Oh, praise
But
the
I'm
Lord.
saying the thing is that it is important for kids that have parents that's incarcerated or has been incarcerated to get the counseling they need. Do
you feel that the prison system does its just due by helping with counseling, or do you feel that we need more programs like Children of Incarcerated Parents? We cannot depend on the prison system to educate or help our kids or the parents who go there, correct?
Correct. Because we also working on a project where we going into the prison and we are doing a parenting with father parenting, because it's important to have our fathers in the home. You know, a woman can raise a boy, but she cannot teach him how to be a man.
Yeah, and there are certain things that only a father can impart to the male and to the female child. I mean, it almost goes back to the Bible.
Yes.
We need a mother and father.
Yes.
There are only certain things that each can do.
Yes. And so we working on a project where with the fathers, where they're reaching, while they're reaching out. And it's going to be a 12 curriculum session. And we're doing it also with the mothers. And so I do want to tell you that we get ready to have a program. I mean, we're doing a fundraiser. Our first fundraiser with Children of Incarcerated Parents is a golf tournament, July the 19th. And that's going to be to help children stay connected with their parents through video conferencing and through individual and group counseling, because that's very important. Is there
a website, or where do people go to get information or sign up or make donations?
Yes, our website is www.childrenip.org, and also you can reach me at area code 816-517-9504, because it's crucial. I always tell people, they be saying, well, it's not important about the parents because they did wrong. But whether they right or wrong, the children still love their parents.
Exactly.
And we need to help them stay connected.
And staying connected and keeping our kids connected with their parents. I believe in education, not incarceration. Are there some last minute tips or things that you would tell our viewers, whether they have children or parents who are incarcerated, some things that they can possibly do to affect change, even if they are in prison, in the lives of their children?
I think being honest with your children, because they have the right to be heard and to listen to a child. And also see if that child needs some type of counseling, or keep them connected to their parents, whether it's by phone, whether it's by the internet, because some federal prisons does internet, but keeping their child connected, and find programs that educate about children that is impacted by incarceration.
Excellent. We would like to thank you today for watching whatsupkansascity.net. This has been the Real with Tennille show. Please go to our website and check out this program and many other great programs. We want to thank Barbara Courtney from Children of Incarcerated Parents for being with us today, and you have a great evening.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.